Hey guys, today I'll be showing another restoration project I've been working on, and this video is for Eric, who owns this really nice little Micromoog. So just going to go over it for you, Eric, show you everything's functioning. But this one didn't start out nice. This was actually one of the saddest little Micromoogs I've probably had in here. And it was either in a house fire, or garage fire, or some fire somehow. And so I actually worked backwards on this one. I mean, I did a pre-diagnostics when I got in just to kind of see what worked, what didn't work. And there's some electronic problems, but started with the chassis. Because this thing was absolutely just covered in oil and smoke damage from this fire. And so luckily I was able to clean everything up real good. Got rid of all the smoke damage. And you can see the nice chromes back out where it looked brown. It was just a brown color. Cleaned it all the way around. This corner right here was really bad. And also installed a brand new keyboard. This is a Newell stock keyboard I've had in my stash for quite a while. So I rebuilt this keyboard because even though it's not used, I went and rebuilt it because the key bushings are 40 years old. So definitely need to be rebuilt. So the new keyboard. But I will show you why I replaced the keyboard and didn't just fix the old one. So this is the old keyboard here. It actually got melted, and you can see the notes had actually taken some heat, and they started curling up, and the black notes are actually swollen on the ends. I don't know if my camera can pick that up, but they are actually swollen and deformed. And what I'm guessing is that probably about from this point on right here is kind of where it starts getting really damaged. I think this thing must have been set by a doorway or a vent, and the heat from the flames came in and actually flashed this section of the synth. It also warped the chassis here, so I had to heat the chassis up and kind of bend it back into shape. It was rubbing the key really hard, and so did that. And of course, you can see it looks really good. It didn't actually deform the molding; it just kind of warped it. So I had to kind of heat it up and rebend that. But the other thing that I was real careful with on this particular unit, and I'll show you what it was. So when I was cleaning this one, I was very careful not to rub off the Bob Moog signature. So Bob Moog actually signed this one. And just a little history for you guys. This was not really designed by Bob Moog. This is actually a Jim Scott design. Jim Scott worked on the Mini Moog, the sections of the Mini Moog. But I think this was really one of his babies. This was one of the synths that he really took under his wing and designed. And it's a really great little synth, especially if you're a technician and ever work on one of these, because the knobs are recessed so they don't stick out. And there's actually trim pots that you don't want normal people that don't know what they're doing to touch. So they're actually hidden inside the board. So the ones you actually need to adjust are exposed on the outside, but the ones that you don't want people messing with are actually inside, so you don't accidentally bump it or change the thing. Even for technicians, it's nice that you don't accidentally touch those by accident. So that's really good. So basically, like I say, redid the chassis, cleaned it up really good, rebuilt the LHC ribbon controller, new keyboard, went through the circuit boards, did all the preventive maintenance, did the repairs it needed. It had an issue with a sample and hold. Sample and hold didn't work. It had an issue with the filter control attack. It was real slow on attack all the time, even when you had this set to 0. It was not a pod issue, it was a circuit issue. So I addressed that and then just went through and replaced all the common failure components, and just to make sure this thing works really well. Did a full calibration, including the internal trims for the temperature control for your exponential current converter. So got all that calibrated as well. 12-hour burn-in, and of course that song you heard at the beginning with the pictures was actually made on this actual synthesizer. I had it at the house. I finally got my studio back going, so I just took a few moments and made a quick little song using just this synthesizer. So all you hear is actually from this actual unit. Anyways, let me put the camera on the tripod here, and I will show you how this thing sounds right quick. We'll just go through the sections to show you that everything's functioning here and give you a good overview. And I'm sorry for all the noises if you can hear those outside. They're working on the tracks today or something, the train tracks, which are right behind me. But anyways, we'll start with the oscillator. I got the filter opened up. So here's just your oscillators. else that's really cool about this synth is that it has a wide range frequency control, which lets you do some really crazy stuff, which you can hear. We'll go over here. So it lets you do some really wild stuff, and you'll see where that really comes in later in this video. But anyways, you can hear your footages all work really well. Your waveform works. This has got a variable waveform. As well as the doubling, which the doubling is basically a sub-oscillator, which is a -1 or -2 octaves off the main oscillator. For those that don't know what a sub-oscillator is, what it is actually it's basically a divider that's clocked off the VCO. So it actually tracks frequency with the VCO, but it just divides by 2 or divides by 4, if I remember right. And what that does is that gives you a sub-octave. So that's where you get the term sub-oscillator. And what I like about this particular design is most synths either have just a -1 or -2 select, and it's just all, it's full amount. You can't control the mix. This one here, you can actually control the mix. So we can actually I can actually change how I want that to come in with the oscillator. So all I have to do is just put on just a little bit, and it really beefs that up a little bit because it's a single oscillator. But like I say, this thing, it's got a sound. What I also love about this synth too, and this is another feature that's really nice, I'm going to jump ahead to modulation right quick, is you got variable waveform modulation. So I can bring up this wheel. So anyways, you can hear how that sounds. It's just a really good feature there. And of course, for one oscillator, that's a pretty beefy one oscillator synth. The filter also is very unique on these. It's also got a noise source. We'll cut the oscillator off, show you the noise source right quick. So you got a noise source. Your filter is really cool in this design because it's got the Moog transistor ladder, but it's got different gain staging basically for the filter itself, so you can change the how the emphasis control works. So you can actually limit the emphasis by these changes in basically resistors that's controlled by the switch. And the filter also is connected to your octave for your oscillator, so you can actually change the octave of your filter by your octave switch of your oscillator. Very unique design. So we'll actually put the filter in self-oscillation here, tone mode. We can change the footage of our oscillator. Turn the oscillator off. That's just your filter you're hearing, and we'll go over here and modulate just the filter. So what's also cool though is you can actually get into FM synthesis with this synth because it has this filter mod by oscillator switch, and you got a weak and strong signal. So if we turn that on, what that actually does is that feeds the oscillator into the filter through actually the control voltage of the filter. it gets really, really cool. And that's just on the weak side, and we'll go strong. But we're still in tone mode right now, so that filter goes strictly self-oscillation in this mode. If we go to full, you can actually get more of a musical kind of. So you can hear that sounds, and that's on weak. We can control our release time of our filter control. Normal mode, so we're in normal now. Of course, we control the amount of the emphasis there. We can turn the LFM off. But you can get some really good bass out of this thing too when you go here and go. You can also change how your envelope works, your contour. So we can go here, and basically if you notice, even when I hold a note right now, it decays. I flip the switch this way, and it'll basically sustain until off a note. So you can hear just how great this thing sounds. It's actually shaking my room. It's just got a tone. A little different than most Moogs as far as the tone it has, but it's fantastic in its own right. Something else I love about this thing too, and this gets into the craziness of it. If you like the craziness, you can go here and put the filter in self-oscillation mode. Turn the envelope off. So this gets fun right here, so we'll go here and go turn it down just a little bit because this gets kind of loud. And actually, this goes back to that music I released. I guess it's been a few weeks ago now. There's a song on there called Old Machine, and that was all done on a Micromoog, and you'll hear some of the similarities here between that and what I'm doing here. So we'll go here into the wide range frequency. As you can hear, it gets really crazy. You can do some really wild things with the synth as well. I like it for effects as well when I use mine, because I've got one of these myself and really enjoy it for just those effects that you can do. But anyways, now we're back. We'll go back to normal. Also, I'll show you that all the modulation sections work real quick. So the loudness control works, so I hadn't really showed you that. We'll go where it actually has a... So same thing here, you got the same switch where you can make it not release you off a note. Or you can make it where it's just a pop. Turn up a little bit here. We got attack time. Goes a long time there. You've also got, and I need to demo this too because I haven't showed you that yet on the filter. So we'll go to the filter mode. You've heard me tweak the release. I'll show you the release time, the actual attack time. That works really well. Love this design of this controller. It's actually pretty poppy too. You get a nice thump out of it. So that's your contours. I'll go over here now and show you your modulation section. Let me get this thing where it'll... So I'm going to show you the sample and hold. So self-trigger. So we got where it's actually auto-trigger, and we also got where sample and hold just without auto-trigger. So as you can hear that with the auto trigger, then you've also got sample and hold with just the keyboard. As you can hear. You've got, we'll go back to normal here. The oscillator modulation, I'll show you this. So we got a triangular wave. This thing. So you got the triangular wave, you got a square wave. Here you've also got noise you can introduce into the oscillator, kind of like on a mini Moog. You've also got a bend, which basically just turns this wheel into a bend. It's only a positive bend. So that's your modulation section there. You can route this. We'll go back to a triangular wave. So you got off, which means it won't do nothing. You got filter and oscillator, which means it's going to modulate both the oscillator and filter. You got just a filter. And also your ribbon works, as I'll show you this right quick. Make this thing sustain for us here. Open it up. So anyways, that's really the synth. That's what it offers. It has just a great sound. These things are, probably, like I said, one of my favorite single oscillator synthesizers out there. And I've played a lot of single oscillator synths. But these just have so much characteristics in them that do so much. But also your glide works. I'll show you that right quick. I've just kind of briefly showed it. Anyways, your glide works, modulation works, and it's just a really great little synth now for you, Eric. I think you're really going to enjoy it. No longer is it smoke damaged. You can play all the keys without them sticking from melting. And so it's definitely a playable unit again. And like I say, did a full calibration, 12-hour burn-in, and so everything's held up really well, and I think you're going to be really happy with it. But anyways, guys, just want to take a minute here and share this with you guys that are interested. And I appreciate all you guys watching the video. Remember to like and subscribe, and there'll be more here to come very soon. Take care.